And I think you told me you had some lessons with Ariel.
Yeah.
And then Jake.
Jacob first
Jacob first.
for about like maybe a year and a half or something like that. Did his Lute Circle online and then started doing one-on-one, and then just started with Ariel like two or 3 months ago.
Okay, so right now Ariel is your remote teacher.
He's my Vihuela teacher for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I do the Vihuela stuff with him primarily.
Excellent. Okay, so here you are in Benslow, and you've had some lessons, I assume, already.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So I'd be happy to hear you play, and then let's see.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just preface and say, so this I got this from Jacob, so all the markings and things are from him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure there'll be some things that I do that are a little weird because I was just kind of scrambling some things like what can I play, what can I bring.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna play for Jacob his Salve Regina, which is it's a beast. So this was like kind of a secondary, but I'm really trying to approach this with a lot of things that you talked about today, and that's kind of how I've been trying to think about it for a while. So, but I haven't touched it so much lately, so I know that they'll have some weird fingering problems, probably. But I really just want to kind of approach it with more of the shaping and stuff. But whatever you have to say.
Okay.
And then the last thing I'll say is I've been trying to look at more of my left-hand thumb because I think that the alto lute has, some would say maybe given me bad habits, but I'm not really sure if they really are bad habits. But I know that I play with my thumb a little to the left of my index. Not all the time. I'll start here, and then I start playing, whatever, and then it gets there. Doesn't bother me, but I know that, I don't know, but I've been told, right, that this is the more secure, this is everyone seems to be very unified on this. So, so I wondered if, I don't know, if you have any, if you want to stop me at any point.
Okay, I'll have a look. I'll make sure that I have a look at that.
Those are my few
Very
points.
good. Okay,
So
let's hear this.
all right.
And also, since it's a fairly long piece, you don't have to play the whole thing. You can
I can do it, or yeah, if you whatever.
Well, you just get started, and we'll see.
Yeah, I'll play some music. We'll call it music. trying a new fingering there today, and it's like getting very humid in here.
Yeah.
I am. I sweat using these, so my hands are sweating a lot.
Maybe that's a good point to stop and to talk a little bit.
Sure.
Anyway, it sounds quite good what you're doing. It sounds like you're a good player.
I appreciate that.
It's
whether or not that's
I'm an honest teacher. I actually am. So yeah, you're doing good stuff, and you're getting good sound out of the instrument. I mean, it's small body, but you're getting really a good amount of projection from it, which I think is.
You want to
okay.
You want to see for yourself how it responds, I guess.
That's a nice little thing, but you're getting a good sound out of it, and that's a very important basic element. So let's spend a little time. Actually, maybe I'll say something first about the left thumb, so we don't run out of time.
Lot to say, huh?
No, it's not a lot to say. Just to mention it. So I see why people say that to you. First of all, I want to say there are basic anatomical principles that apply to everybody. And then there's individualization, because everybody's hand is different, everyone's fingers and thumb are different. So I think these basic anatomical principles can be tried, experimented with, but it has to be individualized too, because of different sizes and shapes. So it's true that when you're playing, your thumb is quite high, and it's separated out from the hand. But it doesn't seem to be inhibiting your playing so much. In an ideal sense, then the thumb is used as a support. And and if it's here, let's say there, it can't be used as a support. So in effect, it loses its support function.
Yeah.
And if you feel comfortable and you're not pressing too hard with the fingers, we can look at that a little bit, then it's okay, because that's the way your hand functions. But in principle, when I work with myself, I teach the thumb should basically be somewhere behind the first finger or slightly between the first and second, because then it can support the hand.
Yes.
Whereas if it's here, the fingers are on their own. But the more important question is, how do you feel? If it's comfortable, if you feel comfortable without that support system, and you evidently do. But let me just look at that again. Let me just take a minute or two to look at it again. Just play a bit, whatever you want. And let me just see if I see something. Because individual differences are very important. Because so personally, I don't see a reason for you to have to change that.
Okay.
Because so what I was looking for was how you were using the fingers and what sort of muscular effort. Some people, if they have their thumb sort of slightly behind the first finger, because of the lack of support, they may be pushing a lot harder with the fingers to get them down, but you're not. So from my point of view, at least with the music that I'm seeing now, that it's okay for you to keep playing like that if you notice, and then this is really up to you, if you notice that as music perhaps gets more complex or difficult, if you find you're pushing too hard with the fingers because you don't have a counter weight, then you might consider seeing what you could do. But it looks like it's working fine.
I will say, I mean, it's hard for me to point out when, because honestly, playing this week, I was surprised it never came up, but like when I'm playing the Salve Regina, I get to the second page, I start feeling sore here, but I mean it's kind of a piece anyways. But I've wondered, is that me or the playing, or
that could be an indication.
The piece, I mean, but
it could be an indication that you don't have the support that you need. But the thing is, actually, I have to see that, because if you're having a pain here, this is the thumb flexor.
Yeah.
And that suggests, so if the pain is really specifically here, that suggests that somehow or other you're trying to play the music and it's a little bit difficult, so you're sort of tensing the thumb.
Probably.
So you're doing that, because that's what, and that is an indication that maybe the thumb's not in the right place. Because if you are just simply supporting with the thumb, then there'll be no tension here. So we're not pushing in with it. And if it's here and you're feeling a bit insecure, maybe then you're tensing that. But just be aware that that's the thumb flexor, and it's representing using a little excess tension in there.
So I'll say, so when I used to play electric guitar, my thumb would be here, but if I was doing like power chords for a while, same thing, right here. So I don't know, because I never at any point go, oh, I'm catching myself like squeezing really hard. I never really feel that. I just feel at some point during my playing, oh, my thumb's starting to get kind of sore.
Yeah, but very specifically, that's so you just know that's the thumb flexor, and that means that you're in those situations just sort of flexing a bit too much, tensing it too much, because that's the only thing that will cause the pain. If you would just have a relaxed thumb flexor, it's not going to hurt.
I've tried to like treat it on the short term, which is where if like say I'm trying to practice for like a performance, and so if I'm just practicing, I'll stop as soon as my hand hurts, because I will not, I won't hurt myself anymore. But if I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get through some repertoire, if, I'll move things around. If maybe, okay, this piece is a little hard and that piece is hard, maybe they should be separated by something so the hand has less stress. So I'll try to do things like that. But on the short term, if I am playing and I feel like, okay, I'm performing and I can't just stop and go and then do, I've tried putting more pressure with my right forearm on the lute here. I see that. I like that face too. Because my thinking is, at least in that moment, like I'm not all the time pressed, but to get this direction that that I can do that with my arm, and so I put a little bit more in so I could try to just get like a few seconds of energy back in the.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It's just that if you do that long term, then it causes other problems.
Exactly. This is why I know. Yeah, it's like a doctor thing. It's like getting medication for are you treating the problem or are you just treating it today? So I feel like I'm definitely doing the more short term, and I would like to take a look at the long term.
Look at it, but like I said, just in this piece, it's working fine. Can I have an instrument for a sec?
Yeah.
And then I don't have an instrument here right now. But so if you sort of get up and come around, and let's say, and look at what
oh, sorry, yes.
Doing. So basically, I have my thumb here, for example. And what that does for me is that it just gives me this little bit of counter support. Now, if I put my thumb here, the way you are, the result of that for me is that I have to press harder with the fingers. And if the thumb is here, so you see, it's not like it's here, it's not even against this, it's like pretty much opposite the first finger, because that gives me that. And another test you can do is if you let your hand just dangle, and you let your right hand dangle, and relax it and shake it out a little bit, and then try not to do anything to the thumb and the fingers, just bring it up. Okay, because that's the difference between me and you. If I bring mine up, you see where my thumb is? Okay, and that's then where I put it on the instrument. So you're bringing it up, and if that really is natural, so I'd say take that as your starting point. But you're not like that.
No. Yeah.
So
no, because I do start somewhat here.
Yeah.
I just end up here eventually.
Extending it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's interesting to see it there, because what you're actually doing.
It does look like I'm
Is that you're extending.
I might be exaggerating right now, but
okay. So let's do that. If you sit down and take the instrument, once you're secure, let the left hand dangle. Bring it up to the instrument. All right. And observing, slowly bring it up to the instrument. Okay. Because this would be, in effect, the ideal position for you. Because this is the natural position of your thumb. If you back it up, it means you're doing an extension that causes muscle tension. So maybe what you have to do is just simple exercise. You let your arm dangle, true dangle. You bring it up, find where it wants to be naturally without any adjustment, and then you play like an F major chord or a G major chord, whatever. You just play chords.
You know, I still have a guitar brain and I have to transpose with a minor third.
Oh my goodness, you gotta get rid of that.
I'm sorry. Well, how do you do? I mean, I have a lute in F, a lute in A, and a lute in G. So which one
I have no idea.
do I learn to read notation on? Well, no. I mean, but I should know the chord. But
no, it's just experience. It's just experience.
Yeah.
But my point is, you bring up the hand, you play a chord, you just sit there a little bit and feel what that feels like. And you do that again, that's it, but you have to let it dangle. You have to let it dangle. So that you find that place that your relaxed hand fits into. And then you bring it up. And so that would be an absolutely beautiful position. Your thumb is supporting the fingers. It's where it, in effect, wants to be when it's relaxed. So if you think that this is something that you would like to improve, then you just have to just be a bit methodical about it.
Yeah.
Do that, bring it up, play some chords, whatever you call them, C, G, F, and then sort of observe when do you want to do that. And then observe what does that do for you. Because based on what we just done, this 2-minute experimentation, it looks like your hand is similar to mine, that actually in its relaxed condition, it wants to be like that, not like that.
Yes.
And that means then that there is some sort of extension going on. And that will cause a little bit of tension in the extenders. And then when you're playing, let's say something that's difficult, and then you flex in like that, what's basically happening
because it's over here and then it's crunching up, kind of.
It's
having a I don't know the words.
Well, there's then a little conflict between the flexors and the extensors. So I think this could be, from what I'm observing now, and this is just very short term, I think you could slowly and methodically change this. Because you are getting some tension and some feelings there, and it would be just treating yourself like a beginner. Like I said, you dangle, you bring up, you play a chord, you switch to another chord, you switch to another chord, you observe. You dangle, you come up, you play something else, and in effect you retrain yourself to leave the thumb where it naturally wants to be. And so there's that, and then there's your habits. So you have to retrain yourself to not fall into your old habits. But this is with me also, like I said at the beginning, when I observed you play this piece, it seemed okay because you weren't pushing too hard. But then when you talk about, having some tension here or some pain here, then obviously there's something going on that you would like to get rid of. So be methodical about it, retrain it. And I know, for all of us to retrain something can be a bit of a pain. It's like, I do it the way I do it, but
that's why I'm asking, because I accept
it can be
that it's something.
All these things can be retrained.
So the way I could, because I was asking Jacob about that, and if he had, I was like, so should I just basically, it's like for a week straight, every time I see the thumb move, I stop, move it back. I don't let myself move forward, basically, like this. Like, how do I guess, retrain it? And basically, so you're just saying that this is.
But how did he answer your question?
He told me to ask you. Well, this is what he said. So the way he did it is he said it's kind of a bit like turning your feet this way, and then trying to bend your knees. And he feels like maybe that's what's happening here that's creating a tension. It's similar. So he tried to relate it to something like that, but he was really not sure entirely, and wanted me to kind of bring it up with get some second opinions, because as it were, I'm playing this and it did bother me, I'm playing for you guys and I'm not like, my hand hurts. But specific moments on other pieces or something.
Or more difficult
maybe
pieces,
not specific
denser
moments,
pieces.
But
denser pieces.
Yes.
But just to answer your question that you asked Jade, so my answer to your question would be no. If you observe it, don't just move it over.
Okay.
Because that's sort of like putting a Band-Aid on the problem. I think you know what a Band-Aid is?
Yes.
Okay, putting a Band-Aid on the problem. Stop. Don't use a chair like this. Dangle. Come back up to that passage like this. Because it's not so much, because once you've done that, then you probably won't bring it back correctly in the first stages. It's better to dangle
Just completely relax and reset the hand.
Yeah, reset and then play that passage.
Gotcha.
That's a way of working that will be more effective, because often, and that's sort of a basic principle of what we do, it's like correcting what we're doing without going to the basis of the problem. So let's say somebody's sitting like this, and you say straighten up, they do that. It's not correcting the problem. It's sort of compensating.
Yes.
So I would say that's, so just do the dangle, bring up, and you'll see the hand is so happy like that. And it's not really happy like that. And if you really feel what the hand is like this, and then you do that, you'll sense the different tensions that are involved. And with the flexing, the tensions then come here.
Okay.
So that's my advice for the moment, but it's also very short term, just observing you for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But let's do a tiny bit. I have to stop soon because of rehearsing and stuff. But I'd love to look a little bit at the music here, which, as I said, you played very well, and there was a nice flexibility to what you did, a nice musicality.
Thank you.
But let's just do look at the first two lines.
Sure. It's a little bit clearer to me what you're doing. Yeah. Hands are a little less clammy.
Good. I know that feeling.
I saw you have like a rag for your hands.
Yeah.
Is
It's in
it
case
moist
I
in
feel,
any way, or
in
is
case
it just?
I don't know really what causes this in the first and the second half was different last night. But in the first half, I felt a little bit hot and sweaty, so I dried my hands like that. In the second half, I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
But then I just have a little cloth in there, and I stick my.
I feel like I need to do something like that. I'm not like naturally sweaty person, and they just blast the heat here too. So.
Yeah. Linda warned us in advance the teaching rooms are hot.
Okay.
So there you go. Okay, so let's. So the first thing I want to ask is because I feel that you're playing it musically, but a little bit neutrally.
Probably.
In terms of the expression. So first let's try to define. It doesn't have to be for the whole piece.
Yeah.
Are you projecting, well, first I'll give you two directions. Are you wanting to project a joyous feeling or a melancholy feeling? There's of course many more than that, but let's just start with that.
A mixture though.
A mixture.
Yeah. Because some moments are a little grumpy, like I like the bass moving up here, I like it to go, and
But let's try to go to extremes now.
Okay.
So let's say that you have decided that, not the whole piece, but the beginning is melancholy. Can you give me a nice melancholy first line? Okay, that was beautiful. So that was very clear in character, and I thought it was lovely. Now let's say we have decided this is a joyous piece.
Good day, not a bad day. I got you.
Okay, good. That was also very clear. That's excellent. When you originally played it for me, and you repeated that, I sort of felt neutrality.
Okay. I'm sure.
So yes, it's true. Life is not only joyous or melancholic.
Yeah.
There are things in between. But now let's say, for your own feeling about this piece, play it again and try to express it in a way, you don't even have to use words, but express it that I as the listener feel somehow the basic passion of the piece. It doesn't have to be joy or melancholy, could be, as you say, a mix, but just so it's not, you have a feeling in it that you're trying to communicate. Because I did feel the neutrality, and then I felt melancholy, and then I felt joy. So that's great, you can do it. So let's see what you come up with. Okay, it's a challenge.
Yeah, okay, so I'm not trying to go for, sorry, could you reiterate
You
that?
can, go for some feeling. If you want to do, if you decide now you want to do it in a melancholy way, that's fine. But if you decide that there's something in between joy and melancholy, like tragicomic or something like that, just project something. Play it in a way that you're communicating a feeling, whatever feeling that might be. together because I was feeling something from you. Now I'm going to make a suggestion.
Yes.
Because, of course, we don't have to keep the same affect the entire piece.
Sure.
So I'm going to suggest, because of the nature of the composition, that the first, from here to here, that you go for the melancholy.
Yeah. And then it cheers
you go
up.
for the joy.
It does sound like it wants to cheer up after that.
Because
so.
this for me, that's a sort of a melancholy falling line.
Yeah.
So let's just see, and this is not to make a final decision for the rest of your life, it's to just establish that you can deal with the feelings and the passions in the music, and that they can change depending on what's in the composition. So give me a really nice melancholy, and then a joyful continuation. So that was very good. You really communicated with me. And I'm just going to, because we're running out of time, I'm just going to suggest something here. What's the word? I think of it in German, nostalgia. Like you're searching for something that you don't have. You know, your partners, you're in San Diego, your partner's in Japan, you go to the beach, you look over the ocean, you miss them. So it's sort of this sentimental feeling. So let's start in the joyous one, and then change it a little bit to this more nostalgic, sentimental feeling.
I like that.
So basically, my point is that you played it well, you played it musically, but there was, the word I can only use word I can think of is there was a level of neutrality.
You know, I do so little of the really trying to think of the emotion in it, because I'm really trying to bring out counterpoint. So I'm like, which voice is getting more attention or whatever, but I don't really think about the affect, and this is really enlightening. It's really, really cool to think of it that way.
It doesn't mean what I'm saying is more important what you're doing, because you have to have the tools. The counterpoint has to be clear. The voices have to be clear. But each voice, like if you think of vocal polyphony, they're singing something. They're singing something that has some sort of meaning. And so what I'm saying now is that in addition to the clarity of the counterpoint, you can give meaning to the lines. And so we just did 3 little sections, but the melancholy, the joy, the sort of searching sentimentality, and then you're speaking through the music, and it's a more communicative experience with the listeners. And if I can speak from my own experience, it's more interesting for us as the players to in effect filter feelings through the music rather than just trying to do it clearly.
This is giving me goosebumps. This is good stuff, man. I love this.
And you did it very well. So what it means is that you can. You don't have to learn to project that through the music. It's just that you need to come up with the ideas, and you have to have the intention. But you did it very beautifully. It was a beautiful first, 30 seconds of it. So congratulations. And just as far as I'm concerned, do that with everything you do. Give the music meaning in addition to the clarity and the counterpoint. And then, hopefully you heard that a bit in our concert last night. That it all has its meaning, and sometimes it's easier if it says rigadon or courant or something, and then you have a given. But if you have something like a Richicar from Francesco da Milano, you're on your own. He's not going to say molto adagio or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
So you're on your own, and then you have to, through looking at the composition and how he's creating the lines and the intervals and the syncopations, then you have to, from within yourself, figure out what the emotions could be. It's much easier in Baroque music when they tell you, vivace or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And then, like in the music we played last night, if something says overture, we know what an overture is, and then there's the triple time, or if something says rigadon or minuet. So those are indications of a direction to go in. This whole 16th century repertoire of polyphonic music intabulations, we're basically on our own with our knowledge and our intuition, but I think it's very rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
So, well done. It was lovely to hear you.
Thank you.
And I will keep seeing you around. But we have our tutors